Racing on Saturday takes place out at Turffontein. We are racing on the inside track Saturday the 20th of April 2024. 9 races on the program, with race number 1 set to get underway at 12 o'clock. 1600 meters the distance. It's a maiden plate for fillies and mares, and racing alongside Hollywoodbets Kenilworth, where there is a 10 race program. Joining me on the line for Turffontein is Alistair. And Alistair, how are you doing?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Raheel. Obviously, a big week on the South African scene. The sales prices, I think, dictate that. Nice doubleheader on Saturday. I actually quite like this card, even though it's sort of a week before the final day of the championships at Turffontein, and proper horses will be running in a week from now, and it can be a little bit of a subdued meeting the week before and the week after. But this is not bad at all. I actually quite fancy my chances. The bar pot's a suggested bet. It's been lovely weather in Joburg over the last week, so all set, and hopefully we can make some money.
Well, let's get into race number 1, 1600 meters the distance. Volare E Mambo is your favorite at 2-1. Is 22-10 about number 10, Queen of Love. It's 33-10 about number 8, The Crown, and then it's 7-1 and Better Ball those. Now, I was encouraged by what Queen of Love showed on debut, and second behind Too Late My Mate. And Stars and Bras has come through to frank that form, and I think that she's the horse that they all need to set their sights on.
Likewise, I'm in the same place. Look, Valeria Mambo is, pretty much is what she is. She's going to win a race or two. She might win a few when she goes over a trip. She's bred to get a trip. But I think that the 2-year-old might have the advantage here, Raheel. And look, I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole when it comes to 2-year-olds at this time of year and open company and the weight that they should be receiving. The point is she's running against exposed maidens here, probably with the exception of The Crown, who could also improve despite running in a weak maiden first time out. But I think number 10, Queen of Love, probably has a good chance. Too Late My Mate also ran fairly well subsequently. Gavin Lorena's on board for Roy Magna. It's obviously not going to be easy stepping up in distance, but she is related to that all Sprinkles, who was most prolific over around 1800, 2000 meters. So I don't see the trip or the step up in distance being too much of a concern, especially with Gavin retaining the ride. That could be on his advice to step her up to a mile. On the inside track, she should get away with it. So although I wouldn't get carried away with a big bet on number 10, Queen of Love, I think she's definitely worth a good look in race number 1. Valaria Mambo, definitely her biggest danger. I'd like to see The Crown confirm what she showed first time out. There wasn't any noise about her capability. She's got a deep draw. It was a weak field, but she might step up. So, they're the 3 at the top of the boards for good reason. I think they'll probably go 10-1-8 here.
Number 10, the top choice for both Alistair and myself. Race number 2, a maiden plate, 1600 meters the distance. Now, race 2 will be the start of the bipot. Number 1, Mastership is your 18-10 favorite. It's 7-2 about number 11, Sakura Jima. It's then 6-1 about Deception Pass. Form update here, and second, beaten half length behind Mocha Frappe, and that was on the 17th of April, which was Wednesday. Montebello at 8-1. Number 6, Eremitage at 8-1 as well. He also ran behind Mocha Frappe. He was in 3rd position. So it's going to be very interesting to see whether numbers 2 and 6 do take their place in this contest. And if they do, they would naturally be massive contenders despite the deep draw that they've got to deal with. And number 1, Mastership, well, he's becoming a bit costly to follow. Beaten after returning off arrest and Galdin. He was second to Salute the Flag. So what's your thoughts on race number 2?
Raheel, I think this is the best bet on the day, number 1, Mastership, especially with the fact that you've given an update including Mocha Frappe. Mocha Frappe ran 9 lengths behind Salute the Flag and came out and won. Yes, he had blinkers on for the first time. He obviously needed his run behind Salute the Flag. So, in other words, Deception Passes hold. If he does run, we thought the Aussie horse would come out on Tuesday. That won Andy's Girl. But on pure indirect form lines, number 1, Mastership has got a very, very, very his best opportunity to win. I also think he might have needed his first run after a gelding. Wouldn't be Diane staying his way to get them ready and rearing to go. She'll bring them along in their own steam and their own time. This 2-year-old Sako Rajima, the son of Talk of the Town, put up a lovely debut behind runaway winner Legend of Arthur. For me, something had to run second. The other pieces of form from that race is very dicey indeed. Barpot Banker, one of the best bets on the card, number 1, Mastership. I can't see him missing here.
I like your confidence there with number 1, Mastership. 18-10, the current price is worth a strike, given that Alistair mentions one of the best bets on the card. Race number 3, 1:10 the off time, 2,600 meters the distance. Place accumulator gets underway with the running of race 3. A Place in the Sun, favourite here. We'll call it 8 to 10. Pierre Stratum aboard for Brett Crawford and James Crawford. Gate 4, and she tries the trip for the very first time. And it's interesting that bookmakers have priced up so short in the market, given that she's never been effective past 1800 meters, and she goes 2-6 for the very first time. It's an unknown whether she's going to be able to see out the distance. She's got 60 kgs on the back. Yes, she doesn't meet the strongest of field. She meets horses that aren't in the greatest form, but at that price, she's very, very restrictive.
Yes, Raheel, absolutely right. I loathe tipping horses like this. But I banked her in my bar pot because Gilda Gray, what planet is she going to stay the trip in? Go Dream Machine, not quite the same horse. I mean, I've always had time for her. She's badly under sufferance here. I think she's going to struggle. Angel of the Morning's just got absolutely no form to recommend. If she won, I'd dig a hole. I think Martinique's got claims here, but how's Martinique? She's average. I mean, I know she gets a lot of weight. She got draw 1 and she stays. But A Place in the Sun's just got everything going for her. I hope I don't talk myself out of this because I do like A Place in the Sun. And the way she races lends itself to her staying. If you watch her last run, I actually watched the race with Arun Chadha in one of the boxes at Turffontein. And halfway through, he was saying, whoa, she couldn't get on the bridle. She was scrubbed the whole way by Cabello Mazzagnani. She did unbelievably well to run second behind Judgment Day, who you'll know quite well. I think that she'll suit Pierre Stratum if she gets onto the bit. If she travels well enough, then she's just got to see it out, and he's the right man to see them out. The pace of the race is also going to be a discussion point, but it's also not impossible that Stratum's going to go to the front, hook the pace, drag them all back, and try and skip away at the top of the straight. Yes, that's a question mark, whether she's going to get the trip, but I see everything in her favour here. Just the way the race is going to run. We'll know after this if she stays or not, because if she doesn't win this, then you know that it's just simply up to the distance.
That's number 1, A Place in the Sun at around 8 to 10 in the market. The obvious danger looks to be horse number 4, Martinique. Race number 4, the start of the Pick 6, the fillies and mares. 72 handicap over 1600 meters, 13:45 is the off time. Mighty Goddess is your favorite at 15 to 10. Muzieni takes a ride for Waishong Marwin. It is 7 to 2 about number 3, Springer. Zenobia's Gold is at 9 to 2. It's 8 to 1 about Play with Fire. Solo Diva at 8 to 1. Free in Seattle. And then it's 16 to 1. And Better Baldos. Just a form update with Free in Seattle. She ran 7th, beaten around 3 lengths behind the Joey Soma runner on Wednesday. So whether she takes a place or not, we'll have to wait until Saturday to know more. But race number 4, what's your thoughts?
So I've got 3 horses here in race number 4, the third leg of the bar pot. Raheel, they are 1, 3, and 6. Mighty Goddess, Springer, and Solo Diva. Mighty Goddess has got a heavy weight to shoulder, but she's had a good year, Raheel. Her last run was obviously her worst by quite a considerable margin, but Muzieni's back on board. She's gone through the divisions nice. Those good runs did coincide with Waishong Mawing's yard being in good form as well, because he obviously had a great run at the start of the year. But Mighty Goddess is on the shortlist. 3 Springer beat nothing of any substance last time, but the fact that she got the job done at prohibitive odds with the tongue tie on for the first time might just build her confidence. I don't particularly like the form of that race, Raheel, but I still believe that she can kick on with the win under the belt. I'm not saying she's going to get to any great level. She probably won't, but she can at least find a little bit more. And number 6, Solo Diva, who I really liked last time, just a week ago, behind Rosie Lemon. She ran no sort of race. I think coming back to 1600, I thought that stepping up in distance would work for her, but maybe dropping in distance could work for here, number 6, Solo Diva. So there's another one just to consider. And now this is where the meeting does kind of build up a little bit and get a little bit trickier. So I don't think the bar pot and PA is going to be paying much at this stage, but I think it will be paying a little bit after this.
Yeah, race number 4 certainly does look to be a competitive race. Race number 5, it's an MR70 handicap over 1800 meters. And your favorite is number 1, To the Rescue, along with number 7, Hollow Scene, both at 4 to 1. Number 5, Safe Space, is at 9 to 2, having his first start for Tony Peter, formerly with Timothy Pretorius, who's given up his training license. It's 6 to 1 about number 4, Ryan's Dream, 8 to 1 about Future Wolf, Royal Mazarin, Copper John. It's then 10 to 1 and Better Ball. Those a very, very trappy contest.
Very much so, Raheel. I've got 4 horses here in my bar pots, and they're all horses that I think have winning claims. 3, 5, 6, and
3, 5, 6, and I think it was 7. Yeah.
The Royal Mazarin dropping in distance is interesting because there's no way that I would have recommended him going over 1,800 meters and being a force. But his last run over 1,800 meters, he came back fresh after a long layoff and he won, beating Party. I know that was a lot weaker than this, and he's got a bit of a dicey draw to overcome on the Turffontein inside track. But this horse is in the form of his life, is number 3 Royal Mazarin. So don't let him run loose. 5 safe spaces, you mentioned. First run for Tony Peter. The Durban form is solid. Calvin Abib takes it right. Also got a dicey draw to overcome, but I think he'll overcome that with his good gate speed. 6 Copper John, I think I've read this horse quite well. I brassed him last time when he was favourite at 28-10, but I think a stronger rider like Diego de Gavay is going to suit the son of Pomodoro. So I believe that he's going to be in the mix and run his best race in a while. Number 6 Copper John, there's always money and talk for him. If you have a look at his record, his profile, and the market moves on Copper John, you'll see that there's probably something there that he's not quite. The Holocene runner, Pierce Stratham on board, draw 1, going to be a big positive as well. Of course, Striker is now retained by the Allied Steel Road guys, Arun Chadha and Warren Rippon. So 7 Holocene also going to be a big player. Last time he ran like he'll get the trip. He's obviously been 2,000 meters before and run fairly well without getting the job done. I know he's a one-time winner. He's also a little bit frustrating as Holocene, but put him into the mix as well. There's a list of horses who can win this, but in the bar pot, certainly in the PA, I think working around those numbers should get you through. I've left out number 1 To The Rescue. I don't think the inside track will suit him.
Yeah, 4 horses to play around, and to add to number 1 To The Rescue, 62 kgs on the back, having to concede weight to hard knocking individuals may not be an easy task for him. So maybe he could be a horse that's quite opposable in race number 5, and Alistair's gone with 4 horses there. Race number 6 at an MR 86 handicap over 1,800 meters. Number 6 Judgment Day is the favorite at 28-10. Number 3 Jordan is at 7-2. Number 1 Supreme Dance is at 6-1, along with Officer in Command at 7-1 about La Mohal, and then it's 10-1 and better bar those. Now with number 6 Judgment Day, obviously he does take on a lot stronger, but the report is that he's doing well back at home, but the concern is that he is stepping up in class now and meeting a lot stronger opposition as he has than what he has met in his last 2 starts. So slight concern there, but obviously positive of a good run once again.
I think he has to be. I'll tell you what he's got, Raheel, and I'll give you a little bit of confidence with Judgment Day. He's got the desire and the heart to win races that he probably shouldn't. I know that his maiden win was pretty comprehensive and probably easier than the 1-length margin suggested, but last time there were sort of guns coming from all angles with Judgment Day, and he was able to fight them off. And if a Place in the Sun doesn't run well, you got an excuse earlier on in the day. And if a Place in the Sun does go and win, that'll probably enhance the confidence a little bit. I just love the heart and desire that this horse has got. Even when he wasn't winning races, he looked like he was running above himself. So there's a little bit of belief from my side that he'll run well. Number 6 Judgment Day, but obviously I've gone 3 other horses as alternatives. They include number 1 Supreme Dance, good run to Player last time. He actually looked quite dangerous for a while, and then Player turned it on in good style, and I think that this race might be a trifle weaker than that one. Number 3 Jordan, I think is progressive. He might have just needed his runs back. Sean Terry and Gavin Larena team up the run to Marauding Horde last time. Obviously Franks with the Derby trial, not really Franks in the South African Derby, but probably worth an excuse or two. And then number 4 La Mohal, wherever Supreme Dances, La Mohal should be right there as well. Striker takes the right, bit of a deep draw, but who better to do the job? So I think the race definitely revolves around those 4.
Those are 4 horses to play around in race number 6, and Jordan could be a massive run. I mean, that second to Marauding Horde definitely around that stands out, and Gavin Larena back, Gavin Larena in the irons here, and it's interesting that he's obviously gone for Jordan here as opposed to a couple of other runners that I'm sure he would have been able to ride. I mean, a horse like Supreme Dance, he normally does well for Brett Warren, but Diego does stick with a ride there with Supreme Dance. That's race number 6. Moving along to race number 7 next. This is an MR 96 handicap over 1,450 meters. 3 is the off time. Now, Champion Warrior is the favourite here at 12-10. Quite a short price favourite is Champion Warrior. Money Heist is at 11-2. It's 7-1 about Mardi Gras. 8-1 Brave Viking. It's then 10-1 and better bar those. Now, Champion Warrior, he comes in with 54 kgs on the back. that run to midwinter win will obviously stand out, given that he won the Bailey Turk. He jumped from gate number 2, huge advantage, and he ran a good second last time out to Walk Bomber. But this horse, Money Heist, I mean, he has been terribly disappointing when he's been with Gallop Preview. And I know he's a horse that they rated from day one. From the time he debuted, they thought that this is a proper horse that will go through the divisions, and he's won 2 races. He fell over the line when winning his second start, beating Lucky Dollar at Hollywoodbets Scottsville. But his last 3 starts have obviously been poor. But new surroundings could obviously just bring out more from the son of Gimme the Green Light.
And to add to that, Raheel, he's on the back of a rating drop, having run, races in Cape Town at feature race level. That might have been a little bit more than he could chew off. He's got draw number 1. He was once a 108. He's now down to a 97. It wouldn't surprise me to see him get up towards 108 sooner rather than later, starting with this particular race. He hasn't been off for all that long, 63 days. You're right, he has been costly to follow. I think the expectations were a lot higher when he was a youngster. You go back to that win at Hollywoodbets Greyville. Also the second when Pierce Stratham rode him about 4 kilos overweight at Hollywoodbets Greyville as well. All of those were bitter pills to swallow, but this could be everything in the right direction now with number 2, Money Heist. The owner companion, number 11, Champion Warrior. He's been on my radar for a while now. I think he's been on everyone's radar for a while now. We started live in Cape Town with Brett Crawford with a bang. He was particularly good at Hollywoodbets Durbanville, even though he looks like a horse that'll be better suited to a more galloping course. But with that said, he seems to be better off on a tight turning course. He's got a lightweight here, and you're right, that run to midwinter win sticks out. I think he'll have the advantage here over Money Heist, number 11, Champion Warrior. Although winning doesn't come easy, 556 days since the last time number 11, Champion Warrior won, so maybe you got to be a little bit gun-shy with him, but he's definitely coming into his own and into form here in Joburg. And then number 10, Mardi Gras. Good old Mardi Gras, looking for that 10th win. The owners tell me when he wins his 10th start, they will find a nice little home for this 9-year-old son of Oratorio. He's banging at the door. Nerve and Steely rides of 50.5 kilos. He's not one to totally ignore, although I've put him in mainly out of sentiment just because of the horse and servant that he's been, rather than expecting him to turn over Champion Warrior and Money Heist. He might turn one over, maybe not both.
Well, Joe DeMonta, he's got the top 2 in the betting market here, and he'll be hoping for an exacta with the Glistian PTY Limited, the syndicate that he's got going, and they seem to hold a very, very strong hand, and I think they'd be disappointed if they don't manage to win race number 7, let alone probably run in the first and second box here with these 2 horses. Race number 8, this is the penultimate race on the program, 1,000 meters the distance. Fleas and Mares 92 handicap, 5 past 4 the off time. Amber Rock, the favorite at 2-1, 22-10 about Ice Star, 6-1 Woman of Fame, 7-1 Law of Success, and then it's 8-1 and Better Ball. Those now, Amber Rock, she won her last start, beating Kinshin Shah. Now, he ran a fair race after that. I think he ran 3rd on Wednesday. And I think that this filly, she's, I think with her last win under the belt, I think that her confidence would have gone up, and I truly feel that she can now kick on with her career. And from gate number 1, there's a lot to like about her chances, especially with just 55 kgs on the back. She's back up in class, but I mean, to receive 6 kgs from the principal in the market, Ice Star, that's a lot of weight.
Well, I don't really like Ice Star in this race. I must confess. So I'm looking down the bottom of the weights here. 7 Amber Rock's on the radar, Raheel. I'm a little bit worried about beating Kinshin Shah. He's very, very close to my scrap heap as Kinshin Shah. But Amber Rock's got a lot in her favour. I remember when she got back from Cape Town, her first run, I was at Turffontein on the 29th of February, and there was money for her, and they thought she'd win. And she obviously ran 2.5 lengths behind Zar Bomber. Her second run back was very, very flat. But then she came back to winning ways last time, where, to be fair, quite a bit was in her favour, but she still had to give weight away, and she did the job in pretty good style, hinting that she's back in full, well, certainly evidence direction. I think number 8, Woman of Fame, back to 1,000 meters, got to be a chance. Very disappointed with her last run. I thought she'd be effective over the extra furlong, but she's now back to 1,000. She's 1 from 1 over the course and distance. She's got draw 2. She's got a turn of foot probably better than anyone else in this race. So if she gets the right gaps in running and the race is run to suit, which it should be, then she'll be dangerous. And I like to believe that number 3, Exchange Student, despite having a bad draw, back in Joburg, she gave weight. Can you believe it? To the Abdicator, who was nominated for the computer form sprint and also runs tomorrow at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. She's beaten iStar. She's better off at the weights with iStar. It is a startup run. The confidence is not particularly high that she'll win the race, but it is that she'll come on with a run. She'll run nicely, and she can get into the top 4. So whatever price she is for trifectas and quartets, don't leave her out. But I think the bottom weights will have the advantage this time around. Obviously, watch the press for scratchings. 2 form updates here. Neither of them all that inspiring. Law of Success and Heirloom. Let's see if they take their places as well.
7, 8 and 3 horses that you can play around in race number 8. Race number 9, it's an MR80 handicap. 1200 meters the distance. 16:40 is the off time. Turbo Power is the favorite at 22-10, 4-1 Fast Duty, 4-1 Munchkin, 6-1 Circus Lights, 8-1 Bob, 12-1 and Better Baldos. Now, Turbo Power, he ran behind Dreamland last time out, beaten 1.5 lengths. Dreamland has come through to frank that form once again. He's drawn in gate number 4, so he's got a nice draw to deal with, but he hasn't particularly been all that great on the inside track. He's had 3 starts for 3 complete blanks, but he seems to be in some good form of late, so he could obviously get the job done and go one better than he did last time out. And then you've obviously got the likes of Circus Lights, who's holding form quite nicely, but does have that deep draw to contend with. And I'm sure that there are a couple of other horses that will be lurking under the radar that could run above expectations. But race 9, do you have a firm top selection?
Yeah, very firm top selection right here. I think this is another, I wouldn't say good thing, but another reasonable bet on the card. Number 2, Turbo Power. Cabello Matsanyani rides for Sean Terry. Just on the fact that Dreamland won the Betway Mythical Flight Sprint a week ago and beat a lot better than this opposition. Turbo Power finished second to Dreamland. It's penultimate stop.
Penultimate star ran behind Jury's Out.
Christmas and Master Christmas came out and won. So I think all of that points into number 2, Turbo Power. At the start of his career, you referred to his inside track form, and yes, it is obviously a concern, but he had absolutely no brains, no mind. Jockeys didn't really want to ride him, and since being gelded, Sean Terry's got this horse behaving a lot better than that, and as you can see, he's become more of a racehorse now, number 2, Turbo Power. So I think that he'll take all the beating here. Have respect for 6 Fast Duty, 7 Munchkin. If Circus Lights was drawn better, I'd put him into the mix as well. But I'm prepared to almost take trifecta here. Banker 2 Turbo Power by 6 and 7 and 8 and 6, 7 and 8 to run second and third.
That's a suggested bet for you in the final race on the card. A trifecta 2 for first by 6, 7 and 8 by 6, 7 and 8, and that is a trifecta that will cost you just 6 rand for one times in, and that is in race number 9. We're going to move along to the suggested bet now, and Alistair will take us through his suggested bet, which is a buy pot, and the buy pot will commence with the running of race number 2, and that is at 12:35. So Alistair, take it away.
Yep, 12:35, race 2, bar pot, one of the best bets of the weekend. I think Mastership's a Banker 1 by Banker 1, a place in the sun. Then third leg, 1 Mighty Goddess, 3 Springer, and 6 Solo Diva in the third leg, which is race 4. Then gone 3 Royal Mazarin, 5 Safe Space, 6 Copper John, and 7 Hollow Scene. Then race 6, I've gone with with 4 horses here. 1 Supreme Dance, 3 Jordan, 4 La Muhal, and 6 Judgment Day. And then finally gone with the 2 Glistian horses, plus number 10 Mardi Gras, so 2, 10, and 11 Champion Warrior and Money Heist as the top choices there.
That is Alistair's buy pot, which, as I mentioned, will get underway in race number 2 at 12:35. Alistair, thanks very much for your time. Enjoy the final day of the sales, and have a good weekend.
Cheers, Raheel. Thanks to you and to all the viewers, as always, and to the team behind the scenes for putting up with everything. And I hope that everything goes according to plan this weekend, and we can open up next week in the lead up to the final big day in Joburg with a little bit of extra cash in the pocket.
Thanks very much to Alistair Cohen. All the best with racing out at Turffontein on Saturday. 9 races on the program, and race number 1 will get underway at 12 o'clock.